We out. We out. And we in.
Yes, sir.
We
Yes,
out.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
we in.
All right.
I'm so hyped.
You're listening to the voice 17104.com.
Come on. Be the producer. With a hand clappers, with a hand clappers, with a hand clappers. It's the show, y'all. Woo. It's the show. Back. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, Harrisburg? We are back in the building one more time. Pat, 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 pat. I'm ready to take a one out of here, man. We got a show lined up for you, man. We got a show lined up for you. We're gonna touch a little bit on my man Kanye. Yeah, on Yeezy. We're gonna touch a little bit on Yeezy. If you heard my preview title, don't require me to be something that you ain't gonna be, of something I'm paraphrasing that. But we also have a special guest, Dr. Sabrina Whitlock.
Okay.
She's gonna be coming on shortly, and she is a master at relationships and domestic violence. We're coming to an end of domestic violence month. And domestic violence and breast cancer or cancer awareness is the same month. And how fitting, because they both have taken so many lives. They've both injured so many people that we have loved. So let's just get right into it. For those who are coming in, phone number is 717-889-7181. Hello, Monica. We getting ready to get down, baby. We getting ready to get it in. Yes, sir. So I got so many things on my mind and my head, and I don't want to touch on. I can't touch on all of them. What up, Trust? I gotta. Let me calm down a little bit. I'm all over the place. I feel good. So listen, I'm gonna start off with Kanye West. Kanye, yay, man, what is going on with Kanye West? But we all know it's a mental illness, some mental issues going on. He knows it's a mental issue now. It's been diagnosed. It's all public. But money doesn't matter. Money can't heal you. Money doesn't make you well. Self-care makes you well. Take care of yourself, fellow people out there. All I'm saying is, and I'm not even going to talk about Kanye and all the stuff he's done and lost so much money over the last. I've never seen nobody lose that much money in 3 days.
Oh my, sir.
You know, some of this stuff is not even fair, but I've never seen nobody go from 400 billion or for 4 billion to 400 million. That's a drop. I've never seen that. But who am I? It might be something else brewing with that, but that's not the time for this show. But what I am saying is take care of yourself. Money doesn't heal you. We have to heal our, we can heal ourselves. We can speak life into our own body. We can speak healing over ourselves. We can do that. The Bible talks about that. We can speak it into existence. We have our tongue. We have the power of life and death in our tongue. So, just pray for Kanye West. We're not going to talk about him. We're not going to bash him. We're going to pray for him. Amen. Next quick topic. In my hometown, the Harrisburg Cougars have got a brand new field. This thing is beautiful. This thing rivals any field I've seen in this area, as far as the football field. It is amazing. But I cannot help but wonder, could some of them funds been allocated to more security? Because they are pressing charges of that mob beating. I heard they were pressing charges, so that's good. But we have to, even though, and I want our kids to always have the best to play on. I want them to have the best fields, the best equipment. I want them the best of everything because we deserve the best. But at the same time, we also need the best security. We need the best protection. You know, we need the best judicial system. We need the best. You know, don't give us the best on sports, but don't give us the best on photography or the arts. They're taking away the arts. You're gonna give us the best all the way around the board. You know, we used to have a powerful band. You got Norvella on here. Norvella can tell you the Harrisburg Cougar marching band was a sight to see. It was a sight to see. You know, when I look up and I see one or two tubas, when we used to have 5 and 6 tubas, you know, anytime you got 6 tubas, you know your band is big. When you got 6 tubas, your band is big. So yeah, so I'm so happy that the school is trying to go forward and seeking justice for the young man that got jumped on. I'm so glad that they're putting back into the students with this football field. The lights, it's very beautiful. It's very beautiful, but not a but. And I would like to see more money going into better security, maybe more counseling, you know, when things like this happen. I would like to see the arts come back. You know, we used to do musicals. All the other high schools used to come to our high school to see how we did our musicals. Yeah, Harrisburg was so talented. We have so much talent. And just through budget and society and how things are going, a lot of those things get pushed on the wayside because it doesn't economics, you know, it doesn't make the money as a football team or the basketball team. And that's good. I want everything. I hope the Cougars got new outfits. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Have to see the Harrisburg Cougar had new basketball outfits. I wonder what Damone Maxwell is gonna have them in. I don't know, man. I can't wait to the basketball team. Oh my goodness. Moni Love. I can't wait to see what we're gonna do, man, with Damone Maxwell, the new head coach of the Harrisburg Cougars. Also, he brought us our first state championship to the Harrisburg Cougars. Dynamite player, dynamite coach, dynamite motivator, and an excellent leader. And so I'm expecting great things. And I encourage anybody who is listening to Kenny's Corner to support not only the Harrisburg Cougars, but support Damone Maxwell. He's a dear friend of mine, and I know, and he is capable. He is more than capable for this job. Amen. Yeah. So we talked about amen, Jerome. No problem, man. Love you. So I put on Facebook, it said, don't require me to be what you are not. I know it sounds like a simple thing, but how many times do we feel that our mate is requiring us to be a certain way, and yet they don't show the same reciprocation? I'll put a little big word in there. You see reciprocation. Reciprocation. I'll put a little big word in there, reciprocation. And so they want me to have a 6-pack. They want me to have a 6-pack. That's what I want my man to look like, a 6-pack. And I got a keg. But they want me to have a 6-pack. But then when I look at them, they got, they got 32 back. We get tied up in relationships and we get stuck in them. And people are always passing judgment on us, telling us what we should do, what we should wear, what we should look like, how we should eat. But they don't hold themselves to the same standard. And I guess the question is, why? Why don't we put a stop to it? What is stopping us from saying, hey, you don't even live under those guidelines? We need to stop being afraid of somebody walking out on us. Because that's where the power is. When they know that we are afraid to lose them, that's where the control comes in. My dad used to always say, as long as the job knows or thinks and believes that you need the job, they'll fire you. They will fire you. But when they know you don't need a job, they keep you 10 years. They keep you 10 years. And so why do we put up with it? Is the fear that great that I don't want to lose anyone? I don't want her to walk out on me. Have I been convinced that this is the sweetest thing since sliced bread? The greatest invention since the spoon? Why? Why are we afraid to walk away when they put these demands on us? And then they put them on us, and then they don't do none of it. But I think you ought to make the greens like this. I think you need to make the potatoes like this. They'll complain about your cooking as long as the day is long, and they ain't picked up nothing. Ain't said, well, try this. Maybe if you do it this way, it'll be a little better. No, it's just always telling you what's wrong with you. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I had somebody tell me, well, you go to church too much. I said, I beg your pardon? You go to church too much. Bible study, breakfast Bible study, go to church too much. But am I wrong if I say, well, you go to the bar too much? You hang out with your girlfriends too much? People will always have something negative to say. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. We got Carla Brown. She just tuned in. And hey, America. I know, America, you have been in situations where someone has judged you. And Kim, hey, Kim, someone has judged you and asked you to be something that they are not. How can someone tell me I need to be more kinder? And every time I turn around, you tearing me up. Greetings, Bill. You cussing me out. How many times does somebody tell me you need to lose weight, but you gaining weight every day? As Nelly said, require us to be what? I am not. The culture says a certain age you should be married. That may not be who I am. Ooh, there we go, Ma. Come on now. We don't shots fired. Shots fired. That's right, man. Who I am. Then they say you need to be a mother, but that is not who I am. I believe I am who God says I am. Come on. Woo! Hey, Kim. Hey, baby. Oh, Mama Rose. Mama Rose, you just hit a home run on that one. People will put us in a pocket and require us to be something. Now, check this out. That we have no intentions on wanting to be. That may not even be our aspiration. You should be married. Well, why should I be married? Because you're 30. Well, what does that mean? Because I'm 30? Well, yeah, well, you should be starting your family, and you can't put me in a box like that. You can't put me in a box. You can't. So don't require me. And they do it all the time. They will require you, they will require you, they will require you to do something. They'll talk about your cooking. They'll talk about your cleaning. They'll talk about your work hours. You're working too much, working not enough. They'll talk about your perfume or your cologne. They'll talk about how you drive. They'll talk about how you park. And they are just as horrible at all of that. Can't park worth a dog, but got something to say about me. My rose says a box is for things, not people. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. Somebody that came onto my screen. Somebody that came, did you see her? You see her, Doc?
Yes, sir. I'll let her in.
Somebody on the screen. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hold on now. Ladies and gentlemen, I said last week we're gonna have the incomparable, the mind-boggling, the wizardry of words, the doctor. You know, when the 76ers would have Julius Erving, they would say the doctor. So coming to Kenny's Corner, we got the doctor, Sabrina Whitlock. What's up, Sabrina Breen?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? How are you? Thank you for having me at Kenny's Corner. I'm excited for tonight. I don't know what I was listening into what you was talking. I'm not even gonna go. Go ahead. This is your show. I'll tell you that because okay.
Come on, girl. Come on.
Listen.
I know you know about somebody putting requirements on you, and they ain't got no clue or any inkling of them doing it themselves. Now, come on now. Come on.
Yes, that's true.
And so what I was saying was, we have to stop being afraid of letting people go.
Okay. No, I agree with that.
Yeah, if you don't like what I'm doing, and you got every time you complain, not only do you have to be afraid of not letting people go, you got to be okay with leaving.
Walking right away.
Yeah, you got to be okay with leaving.
Yeah. That's the thing. We end up staying in relationships far too long.
Mm-hmm.
And when we knew deep down inside it was toxic, it wasn't healthy, and we weren't there. We should have left a long time ago. But what is it about us that we don't want to walk away? What is it about billions, our level of persistence that we want to keep on trying? With the cat where you say, trying, I ain't gonna go there. Don't work. Switch it up. Listen, no, if it don't work, go. You gotta go.
Wow. Now, some would say, and we know, easier said than done.
I get it. I get it. I do.
We also have to be at least willing. See, because I know in situations I wasn't even willing to try to go.
Okay.
Before I got there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so in all things, you got to have a willing spirit.
You absolutely have a willing spirit. But you know what I think it boils down to, sir? I think it's about self-love and the lack of it.
Well, talk about that.
Well, I think if we loved ourselves enough and we understood what proper boundaries look like, then you would put your needs of him or her. And they say that when you get into a relationship, right? Not a marriage, I'm talking about a relationship.
Relationship, that's right.
About relationships. When you get into a relationship and you notice that relationship is not providing you the love and support and care that it should. Because naturally when people are dating, they're leading to something, correct? something either serious or not. And so why is it that we understand that it's not working? And what is it about us that stays in that? And we waste 6 months, a year, 2 years, and then ultimately leave when we should have left within the first 6 months.
Right, right.
What is it? What is it that we continue to do that over and over again? Now, I have my opinions about why we do things like that, because it's always something within us that we don't set healthy boundaries.
Ooh, we talked
believe-
about boundaries last week.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you covered all that topic, because boundaries, think about it. Boundaries are created when we're in the womb. So when I'm in my mother's womb, I'm in a boundary. There's nothing coming in and there's nothing going out.
Oh, I didn't think of, whoa, okay.
So just to what I'm trying to take you is how far back we go to where we established boundaries. And so when we came out after 9 months, now think about it like this. You were in a safe space for 9 months.
9 months.
You are born. What if you're born premature, right? So you're born, whether it's premature or not. However, you're born and now you don't get the touch that you was getting when you were inside the boundary. So that in essence is teaching you a boundary. Because you have to.
We had somebody just make a comment, and it was talking about people putting things on you or judging you. She says, as being in ministry, folks will say you don't look like a preacher or you don't act like a preacher. Who has the unmitigated God to define what God ordained?
Come on now. I don't know who said that, but bless you. God bless you. And you know what? I don't know who it was, but I'm just speaking directly to them. You know what that is? It's because I'm sorry. I love the Lord, and that is my calling. I'm walking in my calling, regardless of who thinks it shouldn't be. But there is a tradition that states it has to look like this, it has to sound like this, it has to be presented like this. And when you're in ministry also. We don't leave room for the Holy Spirit to take over, because we have gotten so busy with giving a stage play, right? We've gotten so consumed with entertainment because we think the entertainment's going to bring the people in. And when you bring the people in, they're going to start tithing. And then you got your churches and make it. No.
So I can't. So you mean the preacher ain't about, it just ain't always about, well, I came from a mighty
long way. Yeah. That hooping and hollering. Yes. I think that's a class in seminary.
The hoop.
The hoop class, hoop 101. Right. Yeah.
101. But yeah. And so when you talk about, because I don't want to get, because I'm on point. I don't want to get too far away from the womb. After I came out the womb, 9 months, I ain't gonna let you go, girl, because I'm telling you, I want to hear all this. 9 months in the womb, where do we go from there? We get conditioned. Now what?
Okay, so think about it like this. What if you were premature? So when your baby was premature, we know they put it in the incubator back in those days. I don't know what they do now, but they put the baby in the incubator. And the only time that child came out was to do what? Eat and be changed and bathed. So maybe for the first 3-4 weeks or longer, depending on the severity of the condition when they was born premature. So it could be that child now went from a safe space to not being touched for 4 months, except for 3 times a day, which maybe equates to an hour. So subconsciously, that is implanted within a child. And so if they're growing up, think about it in toxic households. And so now they're growing up either being, their parents are living vicariously through them, which they're putting them up on a pedestal and giving them everything they want, which is that NPD condition, or they're being mistreated and now they feel guilty and ashamed and wondering what they did as a child to be treated this way. So those are where your boundaries begin to form. So either form and you don't have any autonomy. So now when you don't have autonomy, you're going to allow people to walk over you. You're absolutely going to allow people to walk over. They're going to come in your space and you're not going to know how to say, no, don't do that. No, this relationship's not working for me. No, I'm not going to stay in something that's not working for me. Why is it that we get to a place and a point where we cannot put ourselves first?
Hmm.
Ourselves.
You know,
And
it's interesting that you brought those points up from as a child. I think last week I said this earlier in the show, because I went to a therapist, and when I was 14 years old, my dad gave me the keys to the job, clean building. And I was responsible for making sure all the doors was locked, making sure these grown men and women did their job. And he went out and was drinking. And I had to make sure I locked up the whole building.
Okay.
Now I'm 14.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah. And so what the therapist had told me was, from that point on, he took his adult responsibility and laid him at my feet,
Yeah,
and I carried it.
carried it.
And so then as I got older, when anybody would have a problem,
Wow.
I would grab their problems, their responsibilities,
Mhm.
and carry it.
Wow.
And I was at the point where I was doing it all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, because when they hit you in therapy, you don't want to believe everything. I was like, that ain't me. But man,
Yeah, you absolutely, you carried that. And that's part of, so those boundaries, you didn't have the ability to say, no, I don't want to do this. I'm a child, I'm 14, I should be doing X, Y, or Z. So we didn't have that instilled within us.
but I don't think it was the ability to have it.
Mhm.
I couldn't have it. Like I don't think it was an ability. I couldn't have it.
And so let me rephrase. When I say ability, I mean this is what we were taught that we had the ability to do. So reared us in a way to allow us to know our voice matter.
Right.
Okay. And if we didn't find out at a young age that our voice mattered, you grew up now not thinking your voice really matters. And you just emulate over and over again the things that we were trained and conditioned to do.
Do you think the church has lost its boundaries?
Some of them, yeah. I can only speak for
Mama Nellie Rose said, talking about boundaries, we've allowed culture to come into the church and not the church stand into the culture or stand up to the culture with change.
So
I think
can they provide an example so I can kind of get some context behind it?
Yeah. Mama Rose, you might want to give us a better example, or just call in at 717-889-7181. At 717-889-7181. I think cultures, I think the world, as we call it, has infiltrated into the church. And because it is good for the church financially, we don't always push back.
So you believe the culture has infiltrated, which means forced its way into the church.
Right. But we're not necessarily forcing our way into the culture. There used to be a time where especially in the Black church, it was a staple. You couldn't win an election unless you got with the churches. Oh, we got a call.
So
we got a quick call. 1 second, ma'am. You're on Kitty's Corner. Go ahead with your question and or comment, please.
Yeah, my comment about the culture being pressed into
You may have to turn down your device, please. Okay, go ahead.
My statement about the culture being pressed into the church is as subtle as the church still celebrating Halloween. We think that we're going to do the trunk and trick treats where they put the cars out and they put the trick or treats in the cars. We just gave it another name, but we're still celebrating from the culture and from the world. We've started more people entertainment. It used to be a time when the church would pray. Now we have folks, because we see it, entertainment on TV, we have folks that pray for us now. You know, we don't even sing like we used to sing, because we have seen the culture that they go on stage and they begin to sing for us.
Mm,
It's all about entertainment. If you don't have a hoop, a shout, or a flip or a flop, they think you're playing.
you're right.
Or flop. I had a flip, but maybe not flop. You got
Thank you. Dr. Sabrina says you may have a flip, but not a flop.
right.
But no, listen. Now this has just taken us in a whole different direction.
Yeah.
So, so Halloween, Christmas,
Okay.
Easter.
I'm just going to ask a question, and this is by no means a philosophical view of mine. Let me just ask a question. Because what I find oftentimes is, our older saints hold fast to tradition, where our ones that are coming up now are looking for something that's going to apply and relate to them, right? We know that. For our older saints, did they celebrate Christmas or have Halloween in their household when they were growing up?
Yes, because my mom remembers they didn't have toys or nothing like that. Her dad would bring them oranges and apples and like walnuts.
So there was celebration. So the
Yeah.
holiday, these particular holidays that we're talking about right now were celebrated.
Right.
Okay.
And that's how they celebrated Christmas. They didn't have toys and bikes and all that, but they had oranges, apples, and walnuts that they would wrap up and give the kids.
But
Yeah.
it was celebrated.
Right. It was celebrated. Yes.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah. All day. My dad used to call it Santa Claus.
It was celebrated, but we still turned out the way we did. And I find it ironic that we did it, right? And when we did it and we went through it, it wasn't mentioned or said, you should not be doing that. I don't know, I'm just asking. But
Right.
as we get older, our views change and we're able to make decisions on ourselves, by ourselves as adults, right? And we say, okay, I don't think this would be good. But when we experienced it, where we allowed our kids to do it, when we came up with our parents and they did it, we didn't have that same mindset. So what shifted? That's just a question.
So I guess we can say, when you know better, you do better.
Okay, and so what are we knowing better? So let's talk about Halloween, because I don't celebrate Halloween. I'm just pushing back.
Right. So what do we know is that
The church does trunk or schools, they do trunk or treat, right? And so the churches do that, and the daycares do that, and
well, you can fix it up any way you want.
right. That's what I'm saying.
But it's all based on
Mhm.
a demonic culture. Because you can call it trunk or whatever, them kids are still coming in masks of demons and they're still doing the same thing. It's just no different. I trick or treated as long as there was a trick or a treat. And I didn't want no tricks. I want all treats. I didn't want to trick nobody. I wanted all the treats.
Okay, so you got
But yeah, but there are cultures. No, there are people that has been very strict on it in the Christian community, and their children has never experienced trick or treat.
Right.
At the time they knew better, and they put that in their children. So it's all about what you learned. But once you learn something different, you know, I think once you know, you're required to educate,
Mhm.
period. It's a tough one.
It is, without going into a Bible study, right? Without
Huh?
going, I said, without going into an actual Bible study to come and break down the context of this issue and
Right.
right, because we can have this discussion, but then we got to go back to the word and refer to the word and talk about those things.
But can you talk about not culture, but
Condition.
conditioning? I was trying to explain that to somebody because it helped me.
Okay.
When you were talking to me, I was at the gas pump in my truck, and you was just laying it out, and it really blessed my soul, my mind.
Thank
So
you.
what does that conditioning look like?
Conditioning, if we want to talk about, and conditioning can happen in any area of your life, whether it's your career, whether it's academics, whether relationships, parent-child relationships, it can happen anywhere, and it does. So conditioning is simply you are being programmed in a certain way to respond a certain way. And so we were talking about it in the context of relationships and how we are conditioned to stay in the abuse. So it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we have been talking a lot about abuse, conditioning, trauma bonds, and things of that nature. So conditioning is, for example, you and I are in a relationship. You are the perpetrator. And this is all just examples.
Oh,
Say it again. What did you say?
Just examples. Okay.
This was an example, Shug. So yeah, example where we are in a relationship and the relationship is toxic, whether it's me, I'm the toxic person, or you are the toxic person, just somebody is toxic and abusive. And so the longer we stay in an abusive relationship, the more conditioned we become, because there is something called rewards and punishment. And the reward punishment system is, if I give you enough reward, when you get to the punishment phase, you're going to hang on as a result of being conditioned. You're going to hang on to the fact that this is going to not last that long. And we're going to be back to the reward stage, which I can deal with. And so the longer you stay in a toxic relationship, the more conditioned you become, and the less likely it is for you to leave when you should be leaving, period. And so conditioning is something, again, you can overlay that in any area of your life. Spiritual conditioning.
Talk about the reward and the punishment.
So rewards is, I'm not being abused. You're taking me out, you're paying me attention, you're saying that you love me, you're not withholding affection, you're communicating with me, because abuse is when you stop communicating with me, because what happens, the more you stop communicating with me, the more I'm going to try to communicate with you. So then I'm now trying my best to get your attention, and you're not giving it to me. But when you do give it to me for a day, I'm excited. And so now that holds me over for the next couple of days while you act like you go back to your old ways. And so the reward is you sprinkle a little bit of good stuff in there, and all that other stuff I'm going to look past. I'm going to look beyond, because I know that reward is coming sooner or later. That's conditioning.
Right. So it's almost like they know they messed up. Now they're gonna bring in the flowers, candy, gold necklace, or whatever.
You know what those are called? Those are called guilt gifts.
Guilt gifts, right? But the whole time, they're already planning their next great adventure. They just need you to be quiet,
to settle down, to stop nagging.
Yeah, get in your place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tressa says a narcissistic abuse.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, well,
that's
that word narcissistic.
And
Ray about to go off with that narcissistic.
we talk about it all the time. And that conditioning, again, we often go into relationships. Listen to me. There are some people that when they see a toxic situation, an NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, and they look the other, they say, no, I'm not getting into that. I notice what it is, and they run the other way. But there is a population of people who don't. So you have to ask yourself, why didn't I run the other way?
Why didn't I run?
Why? Because it happens. People do that all the time. They don't get involved in toxic relationships. So what was it that we learned or did not learn in our nurturing phases that told us we should stand for what's happening to us, that we have to take it? It all goes back to the boundaries in the self.
What is that feeling that I'm feeling when I look up and 2 years later, I'm in it now? I've been duped. I've been hoodwinked.
Run astray.
Led astray.
Led astray.
Run
Yes.
amok.
Run amok.
I didn't land into a good relationship. A bad relationship landed on me. You know, then you start singing, how did I get here? Not supposed to be here. And so, you know, when you start feeling like that,
Mhm.
that can go on
For years.
years
I
before you get out of that.
I talk to people every day like that, actually. I talk to men and women that stay in it 20, 30, 40
Yeah.
years. And at some point they said, you know what? Why give up now? Because what's left for me at the other side of this? You know, I've been in this relationship 20 years. Now we got all this invested. We got the house, we got the cars, we got the retirement, we got the kids on the couch, we got all of those things.
Yeah.
And we decide that it's best. And then we go back to that self-love. Because if you love yourself enough, you wouldn't tolerate certain things. And I say tolerate certain things, I'm talking about toxicity.
Well, Barbara Mosima says, people don't run because they did not know the signs of a toxic relationship.
That is a good, and she's absolutely right. There are people that don't recognize the signs, and that I can always lead that back to conditioning, because we saw it was okay before.
It was okay before.
Right, we've seen it someplace and it was okay. Otherwise, we would recognize it, right?
Or we seen somebody didn't leave.
Right.
Right.
Think
But
about-
me and my sister talk about this. And actually, Barbara Mosima is my sister. We talk about this all the time. Dysfunctional and abusive relationships was every household. We saw neighbors fighting all the time, flipping off porches, throwing everywhere, everything. So it was almost a standard that when I get into a relationship, if we get the fussing and tussling carrying on, well, it's all part of the relationship.
And that's why she's absolutely right. And that's why you just validated what I said. You were conditioned.
Yeah.
Early age, either not walk away and stay in it, or do it. So if you saw somebody, nah, this is not good. If you had that growing up and that example, and they stood firm to that, then that would be your example. But like you said, in our culture, the way we grew up, we saw a lot of that. And so it was our reality. And that's what I say to the people that I talk to now, come back to reality. Because at that age, we don't have all of the understanding of the world and the things that take place at 4, 5, 6 years old. We're still trying to develop that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, Tressa says some people stay because, oh yeah, this is deep, because they think they can heal the person.
Oh yeah, that's deep. That's good. That's good.
Mm.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
We
And
can't,
we have to realize, that we can't change a person. They can only change themselves.
they can, listen, only God can change them.
Mm-hmm.
Only God can change them. I'm of the opinion, and this is what I say, and sometimes people think it's harsh, and I don't mean to be harsh at all. I say everything that I say out of love. What makes us think we can change anybody? What kind of complex do we have about ourselves that makes us think I can change you? We only have control at a time over ourselves. But when we're growing up and we weren't taught that we do have control of ourselves, or we do have a voice, then it's going to go one or two ways. It's either going to be very loose or it's going to be overpowering. So overpowering is me thinking I'm going to change you, when in fact I can't.
So remember I used the example of my father with the keys, right?
Mhm.
So a bigger part of that was me wanting to please him and get his approval.
Mhm.
So then in my adult life, and I get into relationships and they treat me kind of funky, and then they ask me for something, I jump to it because I want their approval of me.
And you're just confirming everything that we're talking about, actually. And it's a sad situation because, again, I always take it back to the nurturing spots because that's where it all developed. When you are growing as a child, a baby, and I'm touching you and I'm loving you, I'm telling you I love you and I'm caring for you. I'm providing your basic needs. I'm providing you, affection. And as you're growing 1, 2, 3 years old, I'm teaching you that you're valued, that you are worth it. You're worth my time. You're worth my energy. You're worth my love. But there are households that and I know that don't do that.
Right. My sister said, when she went to school, her friend said, I don't have my pumps, my black pumps. And Barb was like, well, you gotta do something else. She said, well, no, I'm just gonna call my dad. And so my sister was like, what do you mean just call your dad? Yeah, I'll just call my dad. He'll either wire me some money to get some more pumps or he'll send me my pumps.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Barb, my sister couldn't fathom that.
Right.
Because that's not how we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing. We have a lot of comments in here. Let me just go back to some of the comments there, Sabrina, so we can catch up. Mama Rose says, Mama went through, Auntie went through it, generational toxicity.
Yeah.
Dresser says, we can't blame it on generational toxicity. People make their own choices. Empaths think they hear the word. My minister of music, Andrew Tribble, says, tell my friend I said hello. Let me see. I'm trying to get all these things out here. Barb said, we all have intuition. We just don't trust it all the time. I wish we would have.
Yeah.
Which you would have Will Robinson, which we had a Will Robinson robot. The one that said danger, danger, danger.
I love it. Yes.
Oh, boy, she's crazy.
These comments is off the chain. Oh my God.
Oh my God. She says, when you try to change, Miss Nelly says, when you try to change someone, it's usually through manipulation. And then she put in witchcraft.
I love it. I love it.
All right, we got somebody calling in.
Good evening, caller. You're on Kenny's Corner. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, JK.
Danger, 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 danger.
I love it.
What I wanted to comment on, well, piggyback on when you made the comment about the girlfriend getting the high heels.
Yes.
Money from her father.
Yes.
It wasn't like that. If somebody say like, well, what do you mean? That's not anything crazy. Why wouldn't a dad do that? But when you grow up in a dysfunctional relationship, or in our case, a dysfunctional neighborhood, you just was not expecting for somebody to come through for you. And that's a simple task. But unfortunately, we didn't always have a father who came through. Our mom was there and she came through. But I mean, to really believe that you could call them up for say, oh, I need a brand new pair of heels. And back that time, I mean, heels were probably what, $25 we thought was a lot of money. But it's the fact that if you don't get that, if you're not brought up in that, that is just like a different world that someone is there for you. And I admired that, that a father did that. And the couple of girlfriends I met in college that had fathers that came through, I was in awe every single time. All
Wow,
right, I'll let you comment on that. You can go back.
wow, wow. Sabrina, you can feel that one.
Think, you know, what she's saying is absolutely correct. It's either going to go one of three ways when you're growing up. Either it's going to be unhealthy, it's going to be healthy, or it's going to be horrible.
Hmm. There's only one good choice out of that one.
I take B, Alex. I'll take B.
I'll take healthy for 200, please.
I don't need to phone a friend on that one.
Oh my goodness, what a choice.
I'll tell you, but she's absolutely right. I think when we know what we know, what we grew up with, right? And we at those ages, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you know, we're still, even at 14, right? You did not feel you had no weight whatsoever. You knew you had to take those keys and do what your father said do.
Oh yeah, there's
You,
no,
you knew that. So that was expressed and instilled within you as you were growing up.
right. And so I think we got two people that are talking, but I think they got two different viewpoints. Mama Rose says it's usually through manipulation or witchcraft, but Tresha says it's not manipulation or witchcraft. But I think it's from the point of view. So if someone is trying to change you to bend to their will, and they use things like guilt, you
Well,
know, I'm just saying, well, if you loved me,
yeah,
then you would do
that's manipulation.
right. So that's manipulation, but it's still
Yeah.
manipulation. It's still manipulation. But then on the other hand, if the person is just genuinely good-hearted, and
Right.
say,
And
hey,
they want to fix the world. They want to,
right, they want to fix the world. So I
Right.
think they were coming from two different viewpoints.
yeah, and I can see that. Yep. It oftentimes it is manipulation, right?
Right.
Or time.
So just to get off topic real quick, you know my brother Joe, right?
Uh-huh.
This person on the line, her name is Tressa. She says, more she looks at me, she realizes that me and my brother does not look alike. What do you think?
Well, I think you do. Y'all just shape differently.
What you say? Hey. I
Well,
don't know
not-
like that. Oh.
Hey, he's tall. Let me clean it up. He's tall. You're not as tall as Jeff. Lord, I'm done.
Oh, you tore it up.
You said that we could talk. What?
Right. Well, Tressa, we did agree with you, Tressa, that to get someone to change for the good is not manipulation, right? I think y'all were just coming from two different things.
Yeah.
Don't play me like that. I'm not just some person on the line. Oh, you're funny. Listen, my one call, her name is Dee. She's talking about you, Sabrina. I like her.
You. Kisses.
Oh, you tore it up again.
I'm sorry, Shay. No, I'm not. Huh.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You ain't gonna believe this.
What's that?
It's almost an hour.
Are you serious? Wait a minute.
Wow. Can you believe that?
No, we haven't been on here that long.
Huh?
We haven't been on here that long.
We've been over here 58 minutes. You ain't been on that long.
Well, I need my hour.
Listen. I'll go back.
Come back. You gotta have, you have to come back.
Oh, anytime.
We have so much more to cover.
Yes,
Um,
I would be honored to be back here
Yes,
with you.
and
Love
listen,
the participation, the comments is awesome. I love it. Thank you.
and I want you all to follow me on YouTube, on Kenny's Corner, like and share. Please follow me on YouTube, Kenny's Corner. We're
Oh.
trying to take this thing.
Before you take it out, please talk about Say Your Name and
Oh,
just
say your name. Go ahead, go.
yes.
Say your name.
So Say Your Name, you all. I founded a nonprofit organization called Say Your Name. It's about empowering us to reclaim our stories. And so you know that when men or women are abused, it takes away our identity. And so how do you begin to restore that? Well, you do that first by saying your name, because when you identify yourself, you're saying, I'm present, I'm here, and I'm not what the world calls me, whether it's stupid, whether it's that I deserve to be beat, whether it's incompetent or a bad parent. No, I'm none of those things. My name is Sabrina. So Say Your Name is an organization. If you all feel like you want to donate, please do. You can go to our website at www.sayyournameinc.org. That's www.sayyournameinc.org. If you need any services, please feel free to reach out to me as well, because we do provide services and support. Thank you so much for that time to say that. Yes.
Amen,
And
amen.
if you have not following me with the content we do, we're talking about domestic violence and trauma and abuse on TikTok, social media. Come over there and follow that particular account. We go live 3 days a week. So, and we have these types of discussions. So yes, I need you to come on to my live, sir.
Okay.
We have a lot.
So Tressa Reynolds says, come back, Sabrina. Just be the co-host. LOL. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe it's been an hour. But you know what I say? I can't control what happens on the streets of DC, New York, Chicago, or Baltimore. But I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. Bring the brain.
Sugar what?
Can you just keep that so we can keep handing it to me so I won't forget again? Just keep it.